Hi everybody, welcome to this channel if you're new, welcome back if you're not. My name is Catherine and it's currently Sunday, and I thought for this week's video I would do a weekly reading vlog, except all of the books I'll be reading will be on my Kindle. Now when it comes to my Kindle, I'm a pretty fast reader. I've read a couple books already on my Kindle. I got it in July and I've only charged it like once or twice, and I just want to say that I love the battery life on my Kindle. I'm currently choosing between a couple of books. Number 1 is Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir. Number 2 is All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. And the last one is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Crystal. Now Enemies with Benefits I believe is a standalone, but I could be wrong. To Kill a Kingdom is the first book, and then All of Our Demise is the second book of its series. I think what I'm going to do though is probably read Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir, because when it comes to romance books I speed read through them, and especially on a Kindle I know I'm going to read it so fast. Plus I'm in the mood for a little bit of romance, so why not? Oh, my Kindle's on airplane mode. I have to download it. Give me 5 hot seconds. I actually got this book on the Amazon, like, what is it called? The Amazon like stack your Kindle day. I don't think that's the right term for it, but I got Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir on the stack your Kindle day, or stuff your Kindle day. It's stuff your Kindle day. I got this book on stuff your Kindle day, so I've been really excited to read it. I just haven't had the time, but I thought since I am doing a reading vlog, might as well read it. Okay, it's finally downloaded, so let's get started. Please ignore the fact that I do not have any bed sheets or pillowcases on my bed, and also ignore my hair because I was experimenting. Clearly it did not work out, and my bed sheets and pillowcases, they're in the washer. Anyways, I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the book. I was actually wrong. This is a companion's novel. It's the first book of the companion's novel series, and it follows Violet and Eli. Both of them have been like enemies since they were younger. They torture each other, just, you know, all the things that children do. But then after graduation they do their own things, move their own separate ways, but now they're both 29 and they've moved back to the same small town, and worse, they work at the exact same company. I haven't read a workplace romance in a really long time, so I'm actually really excited to get started on this. Chapter 1 follows Violet's point of view, and I've heard good things on Goodreads, so I'm excited to form my own opinions on this. I also forgot to mention that this will be a spoilers-free vlog. Okay, they hate each other, right? They just reunited for the first time in a really long time, had that little, you know, hateful banter, but tell me why, you know, afterwards she's frustrated. She's walking home alone in the dark. It's midnight with no shoes on, and he still comes and he's like, get in the car. I love it. Just when I thought this could not get any better. Number 1, like I mentioned, they work at the same company. Violet is an events coordinator and Eli is an executive chef, and they were just told that there will be a 20 grand bonus at the end of the year for the most valuable employee. And you gotta keep in mind that they have been like academic rivals since they were little babies, like from 5 years old to 18. Like they were just pure academic rivals and just rivals in general, so you already know the competition has been ramped up now. And number 2, they just kissed, and the brother caught them, but like they just kissed at a bar, and I loved it. I just took a shower. I have fresh sheets on my bed. I am reading. Life is so good right now. Eli is totally dissing mac and cheese balls as if it's not one of the best appetizers ever. Happy Monday. It is currently 5 p.m. I just finished work, and I thought I'd give you a little update. I'm currently 40% in the book, which I feel like I'm making really good progress. I am going to go eat dinner with my parents and just do a couple of things, and then get to reading when I'm like almost ready for bed. Let's have a real talk while I do these heatless curls and get ready for bed. Ever since I turned 18, and keep in mind I just turned 21 in September, I had this realization. Well, not really a realization, it's actually something I've thought about like quite often, and it's the fact that I've now surpassed the ages of all of my favorite characters in my books, and like I'm just so old. But not really, because I'm like only 21. I'm having trouble pinning this. I can't do it. And I have this thought like, wow, this book character, when she was 18, she's out here like saving the world, and when I was 18 I was in my sophomore year of college. And it's not like I could have related to them anyways, because like, you know, like I mentioned, they're out here saving the world and here I am, you know, doing homework. But now it sucks because here I am now relating to like all these like corporate girl like books and main characters, like Violet working a corporate job in a way, and me too. That's why I'm sleeping early. That's also why I can't read during the day, by the way, because I have a 9 to 5 that I, you know, obviously have to do. I don't think I'm making this tight enough, and it's definitely gonna fall because I also have layers. Also, I did not dampen my hair either, so there's just a lot of things going on at the moment that will not make my hair turn out good. It's fine though. If any of you watching this have any tips for me, please let me know, because I really want to teach myself how to do curls. Now I do read young adult, which is why, you know, all these characters are so young, and that's why I'm like comparing myself to a bunch of like 16-year-olds, but young adult is actually my comfort genre. And sometimes I'm like, wow, their life seems so cool. I say that and then like the main character is like poor and she's sent to die and blah blah blah, but like, you know, it's so cool to just read some of these things and then I realize I'm like, wow, like what am I doing with my life, you know? At this point I'm just rambling on and on, but I just wanted to, you know, share that initial thought of me just being like, wow, like I'm not old, but it's like I'm older than the characters I looked up to when I was younger. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed like this. I definitely did this wrong. Like I already feel this part loosening up. Oh my god, this entire part just... Okay, you know what? Let's cut the cameras. So it is currently 10:22 and I finally have time to read. As I mentioned, I work during the day, so I don't really have much time during the daytime to read. So that's why I do most of my reading at night. But I did want to update, I am actually at 63% at the moment. And let me just say that Eli and Violet are so cute. Okay, they're so cute and they're just denying. They're just denying it. But they are adorable together. And also I just wanted to say that, like I mentioned, this is a companions novel series and I'm really excited for the next book because the next book follows Daniel, which is Eli's brother, and that one is fake marriage of convenience because he is a single dad and he's trying to win custody over his daughter, so he accidentally gets into this like fake marriage with his childhood best friend. Like, it's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, let me stop freaking out and actually focus on the book that I'm currently reading. Because it is such a small town, gossip is spreading like wildfire and I am here for it because I love book drama. These two really go at it like rabbit, like, what is the analogy? Like, they really go at it like dogs, bunnies. I think it's like one of those, like they go at it like dogs or bunnies. You know what I mean. The banter that these two have, I just love it so much. Like they have such a fun little competitive banter even during like those moments too. I just things are happening right now and I'm pointing all of the fingers at Martin because don't trust the guy. And speaking of Martin, if I'm not reading my Kindle, I'm reading my physical book, which is Nightfall by Penelope Douglas, and there's also a Martin in that book as well, and I don't like that Martin either. Also, this is a shameless self-promo. When I release that, you guys should check it out. I'm doing like a whole Devil's Night series reading vlog. Let me read you something. This is from Eli's point of view and he goes, I think I like arguing with Violet more than I like talking to anyone else. I am in shock right now. Montgomery just pulled up the picture. It's 2 in the morning and I just finished the book and I know I'm gonna be so tired tomorrow at work, but you know what? You win some, you lose some. I'm currently on my lunch break right now, so I thought I'd spend a few minutes to talk to you about the next book that I'm going to read, which is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now this book is a mystery/thriller, which is usually a genre that I don't read too often. I usually read more fantasy or romance, so I'm actually really excited to read this. Also because I heard it's kind of a mix between Don't Worry Darling the movie and Adam and Eve, and also because it's kind of short. I'll probably start this after I finish work. I've been reading for about an hour now and I'm already 40% in, which I'm not surprised about because the book is pretty short, but a couple of things. One, I'm getting major Don't Worry Darling vibes, and 2, 40% in and only like 2 major things happened, which I feel like should be more than that, but I don't know. I will say that the writing, it's good, and I will never say that writing is bad because it's truly not. I don't think the writing is bad, but there are a lot of adjectives. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like the way that the author describes things, it's like adjective, 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 noun, you know? It's like a lot of fluff in there, but I don't think it's bad. I think it actually fits with the book quite well. But I'm not used to this writing style, which is why I'm just making that comment. But other than that, book's pretty good. It is progressing kind of slowly, but I feel it in my bones that there's something about to happen. Like, I don't know what yet, but I already know something is about to happen. happy Thursday. I'm currently 53% in, and this one scene at the amphitheater literally reminds me of that one scene in Euphoria where everybody's acting as Nate. Actually, is that his name? It's the one played by Jacob Elordi. I've never seen Euphoria, but I've seen clips on TikTok because I spoil everything for myself on TikTok. But anyways, it reminds me of that. Like the amphitheater scene in this book right now reminds me of that scene in Euphoria where everybody's pretending to be Jacob Elordi's character. I have a theory. Is it a correct theory? Probably not, because my theories are absolutely delusional, but I do have a theory. You know what I want to know? Like, all of these things that she's finding, how did she not notice this before? Like, you're telling me you live in this house every day, you literally go clean the house and do everything, and you have not noticed any of this? Or like, did it just suddenly appear? I don't know. Sophia, the main character, is finally getting some common sense, and thank goodness, because it was like reading someone who just, I don't even know. I don't know how to describe her, but I'm glad she's finally, like, something is finally clicking, you know? Something is happening right now, like gears are turning, and oh my god. There's definitely a lot of like Adam and Eve references in this though, so if you don't already know the story, I guess you kind of know now, but I don't know. I'm like 80% in, and I do want to take a shower and get into bed, but I just cannot put this book down. Like, it's finally getting juicy. I just finished this book, and I don't know how much I'm going to read today because I'm about to go out with some friends and I just don't know when we're getting back. But I came here to let you know that I don't know if I'm going to read, but I do know what book I am going to read when I start reading, and I'm going to talk more about it when I start reading it. I am just out of breath right now because I ran up the stairs, but I just wanted to give you a little update that I finished work, and we'll see what I read when I read. As I mentioned, I was not able to read too much yesterday, but I did in fact pick out a book, and I'll be reading All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. Now, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video. It is the second book of the All of Us Villains duology, and I just love the first book so much. I was immediately pulled in because of the premise, so let me paint the picture for you. It kind of gives me modern day Hunger Games with magic, or like modern day Triwizard Tournament, but it's like one big game instead of like small games. So in this world, people are super greedy for magic. And in this small town called Ivernath, I think I'm pronouncing that very wrong, but in that town there are 7 families who will send a champion every single generation when the blood moon rises, and that champion will go and enter this game where they basically have to fight to the death with their magic, and the victor, or the champion of that game, will be able to get access to this highly sought after source of magic. So of course, everybody going into the games, they really want this source of magic, so it gets deadly, it gets very exciting. It is from multiple point of views, and I loved it so much. And book 1 ended on a cliffhanger, and I read it a long time ago, back when the second book wasn't even out yet. So now that I have the second book, I'm so excited to read and see what happens, because it was left on a cliffhanger. I just started, and right off the bat we are jumping straight into the action. I will say that it's been a while since I read the last book, and this book picks off right where the first book ends, so I am struggling to keep up a little bit, but they do a very good job at explaining everything. But it just would be a little bit better if I read it with like a shorter wait time in between. Bryony, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she is my least favorite character to read. Every single time I hear her point of view, I'm just like, oh my god, skip. But I can't skip because her chapters contain very important information. This message is to Alistair Lowe. Just know that I would have never done what Isabel did to you. Love you. Okay, a quick update. I'm at 8%. I think I'm going to stop here and go to bed because I'm really tired. But I just wanted to say that I was rooting for Gavin the entire time last book, but now I do not want Gavin to win whatsoever. In fact, I don't even know who I want to win. I actually did a little bit more reading after I finished recording, and I'm currently at 28%. And let me just say, I am the biggest Alistair and Gavin like stan. I am on their team. I don't necessarily support their like cause, but I just love the characters so much that I like them much more than like the other side. Also, I just want to say, can you imagine being in a deadly tournament, right? There's like spells and curses flying this way and that way, and you are like dying, right? And then there's just paparazzi there. Like, imagine you were trying to fight for your life because the tournament is like crumbling. You are like a big target. And then there's just a paparazzi standing over there taking pictures, and then there are people coming up to you trying to get interviews and like sending fan mail. Let me just say that these teenagers are so much better than I am, because if someone cursed me and I'm in pain, honestly, I just surrender right then and there. Like, there is no way I can continue fighting or just continue going on if I am hurt. I have the lowest pain tolerance ever. You could give me a paper cut and I would surrender. Hear me out. Gavin and Alistair. I see it. I see it happening. I'm at the part where Alistair and Isabel finally confront each other, and I don't know what I want to see actually, but I want to see something. I want to see, I don't know. I don't know. But I am excited. If I'm being completely honest, every single time I see Reed McTavish, I always think of that one character from Toy Story, the one with the crossbones shirt with the shaved head. I'll insert a picture right here. Every single time I read about him, that is the only thing that pops in my head. Like, even though he has a completely kind of different description, I just ignore that and that's what I think of. Do you want to know what one of my favorite ever love confessions trope is? It is when there's just been a big battle, right? And the main characters, they're both exhausted, they're tired, but they're exhausted and tired together. Okay, they're exhausted and tired together, and they're sitting there, and you know, it's just like, they're just like, you know, I am so tired, and it's like but they're tired together, and then it's like, but they like sorry, I'm being a little delusional right now. Do you see the picture I'm trying to paint? Or is that the right phrase? I don't even know. Also, I feel like the way I'm talking about this, I feel like I'm making it seem like there's a lot of romance in it, but keep in mind it is a young adult fantasy, and romance probably makes up like maybe 30% of the book. Honestly, not that much, but I just pointed out because I always get so giddy. It's a lot later now. I finished eating dinner and running some errands, and I'm currently at 50%, and I really do not think I'm going to finish this by the end of Sunday. This book is a lot longer than I expected, which is totally fine with me. So I thought, since this is my reading vlog, I just would bend the rules a little bit. So instead of finishing the vlog on Sunday, I'll just finish it whenever I finish this book. I just finished work for the day, and I'm currently 58% into the book right now. I'm on Bryony's chapter. I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but I'm gonna be honest, I do not care to pronounce her name because I just don't like her. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't like her. I think it's because she has some type of like hero complex, and I feel like her just wanting to play hero all the time, it gets in the way quite often. So I don't know why, I just for some reason don't really like her. I'm at 62% right now, and Reed McTavish, I was not expecting this from you. I was not. I am very shocked. I am entertained at the same time. Maybe I am a Reed fan. I am a Reed stan. Forget anything I said about him in the past. There's just something about him that I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I like him. I'm reading a little bit on my lunch break right now, and my girl Dia, amazing. Love her. Beautiful, smart, talented, amazing, beautiful, smart. Did I mention talented? I love her so much, and I think it really shows that just because you're young, it does not mean that you're, you know, always going to be inexperienced. She is amazing. Also, Henry. Oh my god, I'm actually kind of sad because I actually really like Henry, but I'm letting you know right now that I would not last a single day in any of these trials or tournaments, because imagine like having to fight, but then you also have to think at the same time. Like there's no way I could do both of those things. Finished work for the day, and I'm currently reading, and I am distraught. I did not expect this at all. And now I feel bad for all of the mean things I said about this person, and I just... All I'm saying is that I just was not expecting the low family trial to be like that, and why? I just finished the book. Give me a moment. Let me process everything and I will get back to you with a review of all of the books I read, but I cannot believe I just finished this. Hello! It's actually the next day. I came back from work just now and it's like actually pretty late. And I'm actually really tired because I woke up so early to get ready and go into office, which is usually something I don't do. Anyways, I'm giving such a random explanation. I'm just here to let you know that we're about to do the book review, which I'm really excited. So here are all the books that I read this week, plus a couple of days. Starting off, I read Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir, and I gave this probably like a 4 out of 5 stars, or honestly a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. Then I read Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine N. Valente, and I think I gave this probably like a 2.75 or 3 out of 5 stars. And last but not least, I read All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine L. Herman. So I'm going to get into the books a little bit. Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir is the first book of a companion novel series. It follows Eli and it follows Violet. They've been childhood nemesis since childhood. I don't know why I had to say it like that, but they really did not like each other. They were rivals up until 18 when they graduated, moved to college, didn't see each other, but now they're both 29, back in the same small town that they grew up in, and they're workplace rivals, competing for the exact same like money prize, you know, bonus at the end of the year. And they become friends with benefits, but they still don't like each other, so they're enemies with benefits. Like, exciting. So tropes: there's obviously small town romance, there is enemies with benefits, like friends with benefits, there is like rivals, like they are rivals really, and this one, get this one, he falls first and he falls harder. I love it. I definitely recommend this book, especially to anybody who loves like companion novels and small town romances. And honestly, I recommend this book, period. Like, it's a very good contemporary romance, so if you have not read Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Noir, I suggest you do so. Then the next book that I read is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. Now hear me out, it was not bad. It was actually very short. I think I read it within like 2 days. It was not bad, but I don't think it was for me. I think I mentioned this, but it's kind of a mix between Don't Worry Darling and an Adam and Eve retelling. So if you know those movies and you know that story, then you basically know this story. It was not bad at all. It's just, I kind of expected it, of course, because I know both stories, and so I predicted the ending. I did really enjoy the plot twist though, because I was not expecting that whatsoever, but it was like, okay, like I think the writing was not for me. Like I said, I don't think it's bad writing. I think it fits the story very well, but how I would describe it, it's like a lot of fluff. Like there's like 7 adjectives in front and then the noun, and I'm just like sometimes I find myself skimming over. So I think that's just a personal preference, so because of that I rated that a little lower. But you know, this is probably not something I would reread. However, I would recommend this to someone who enjoys like those type of movies and vibes, like a thriller vibe. So 2.75 or 3 out of 5 stars, but it's not bad. Don't think that that's a bad rating. And then last but not least, All of Our Demise by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. I rated this like a 4 out of 5 stars. This is the second book of the duology, the All of Us Villains duology. Now, I did like the first book more than I liked this book. And I think the reason for this is because it was kind of predictable. I think it was kind of predictable, especially towards like the last 50% of the book. You could kind of see where the story is going, and now it's just like, okay, well, there's only one ending really with how this story is progressing, if that makes sense. Now, I really did enjoy all the character development. I loved all the relationships that each of the characters formed, and I thought it was like so wholesome, and that's why I think I was obsessing with that like the most out of all the things I read from this book. I love the character development so much, but the plot for me was lacking just a little bit. Like compared to character development, it was just lacking like a little bit, but I don't think it's bad at all. I just think that like if you're looking for more action, the first book is for you. If you're looking for more character development, the second book is for you. But I will say, I think the ending for me was a little bit unsatisfying, but that's because I was able to like predict everything towards the end of the book. It was a little unsatisfying because I was expecting something bigger, like more action, bigger, grander, you know? But I wouldn't say that the ending is bad. It's just I was able to like kind of predict it or like see it coming. But like I said, I actually really do like this book. I do like the first book more, but this book was not bad at all. I actually really like this entire duology, and I would recommend both of these books to anybody who enjoys young adult fantasy that's like modern day fantasy, and anybody who enjoys things that involves like trials and like tournaments and such. And people who love reading from other people's point of views, like morally gray characters, this one is for you. So really, I want to give this like a 4 or maybe a 4.25 out of 5 stars. So those are the books that I read this week, plus, you know, a couple of days. And I just want to say that I enjoyed all these books. And of course, everything that I said, they're just my opinion. So please take everything with like a grain of salt. Definitely read these books. And then if you do, please feel free to let me know what you think of them in the comments below. If you decide to read them or if you've already read them. All my socials, by the way, are linked below if you wanna follow me. You don't have to. Anyways, I'll let you go now, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.